And so we are coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. Our headlines this hour: lawyers for IGP resist attempt to invite external witnesses as Parliament's Adhoc Committee probing alleged plot to remove him continues sitting in camera. We'll take you live for updates from Parliament. And education on hold, life at a standstill in Anglo in the Volta region, a community devastated by floods as a result of spillage of the Akosombo Dam and torrential rains. We have details as the MP for the area calls on government to immediately fix the perennial flooding or face protests in Parliament. And as we mark Mental Health Day today, we put the spotlight on caregivers going the extra mile to reduce stigma against persons with mental illness. We'll be bringing you that story from the Upper West region, and when the all financial burden of her family was left on her to handle, Melsa had to make a choice to either continue her education or find work to earn money. There's more in today's edition of our Stories of Hope. I'm grateful that you made time to join me this morning. Kindly stay for details. We're also live on DSTV, Channel 421, GoTV, and on your digital television because we're free to air, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. We start off on an update on the Adhoc Committee that has been investigating the alleged plot to remove the IGP, and the lawyers for the IGP are resisting any attempt by the committee to invite external witnesses. The committee continues its in-camera hearing today, and all witnesses are expected to tender their evidence, including witnesses to testify. But lawyers for the IGP are of the view those testimonies of the extra witnesses are of no relevance to the investigation. They insist the committee has completed its work per its terms of reference. Samuel Mbura has the inside story.
The investigation into the alleged plot to remove the IGP has revealed intriguing revelations from the witnesses who have testified during the public hearings. Chief Daniel Bugrinabu, the central figure behind the tape, has shared his motivations and the story behind the recording. Senior police officers COP Alex Mensah retired and Superintendent George Asari have also given their testimonies and requested an in-camera hearing to provide further details of their allegations. Even National Security Minister Albert Kandapa was invited and shared findings but declined to submit documents as evidence citing national security concerns.
It's an interim report, but he will not share it with us because if you care to know, it's a national security document, it's not declassified, and in terms of law and the constitution, there's no way we share it with that.
The committee took a substantial break to review and analyze the evidence presented to it. It resumes today for a comprehensive in-camera hearing. However, ahead of the hearing, lead counsel for the IGP, Kwame Jan, expresses dissatisfaction with the committee chairman, Samuel Athachia, and signals strong opposition to inviting external witnesses.
The chairman is operating as if he is a sole commissioner, and we are going to use all necessary legal means at the hearing not to accept this, and I will protect my client's interests to the best of my ability. This is my oath as a lawyer, and we would resist any attempt by the chairman or the committee to bring any extraneous person to come and testify.
On the other hand, lawyers for Superintendent George Asari challenged the IGP's legal team to resist the invitation of external witnesses if they have nothing to hide.
To say that you are going to resist, it presupposes that maybe you have some skeletons hiding in your cupboard and you think these witnesses are going to expose you.
Meanwhile, the lawyers representing the IGP accusers have written to the Parliamentary Adhoc Committee requesting protection for their witnesses during testimony. Tensions seem to be escalating as the IGP's legal team has vowed to approach the hearing more assertively.
But we are not going to go ahead with kids' gloves in the subsequent proceedings. We will not.
Are you ready for a showdown?
I won't say showdown. This one will be a show up. Showdown has been abused and battered.
Expectations are higher for the in-camera hearing scheduled for 5 consecutive days and expected to conclude on 10th October, and it is anticipated to bring closure to the ongoing investigations. Samuel Mbura, Joy News.
Let me now take you live to Parliament. Samuel Mbura is there for us. Hello, Samuel. So, as we've already established, these hearings are in camera, but you've been able to get some scoop for us. Are all the witnesses appearing before today's committee in already? Hello, Samuel, if you can hear me, are all witnesses expected to appear before the committee today in?
At the moment, we can't confirm that all of them are before the committee because before we arrived here, I was told that COP Alex Mensah and his lawyers, as well as Superintendent George Asare, were in the premises, so they should be before the committee. Just a minute ago, Daniel Bugri-Nabu, who is the key witness in this case, has also arrived, and then he's getting to the 10th floor of Job 600 for it to kickstart. I spoke earlier to lawyer Kwame Jan, who is the lead counsel of the IGP lawyers, and he said they are ready. His client is expected to be here, but he's not here at the moment. So those that I know are around COP Alex Mensah retired, Superintendent George Asare, Bugri-Nabu, and lawyers for the IGP are here. So we are still waiting for the IGP himself to come here. So, but in a brief interaction that I had with the lawyers for the IGP, they indicated that they will have been surprised with documents, some even coming from the Herald newspaper, some coming from Nigeria, and reports that they deem as extraneous, and then they are somehow foreign to the investigation. So he has made it categorical to me again that they are going to resist any attempt by the committee to invite other witnesses who have not been mentioned in the leaked tape. His point or the argument is that a witness cannot invite witness. They are supposed to talk for themselves, not to invite others. If you recall, about 2 weeks ago, there was a letter that was written by lawyers for Superintendent George Asare and COP Alex Mensah requesting that they bring about 3 witnesses to buttress their allegations against the IGP. 2 of them are civilians, and these 2 witnesses are supposed, according to the lawyers, to testify on how Daniel Bugri-Nabu allegedly aided in the appointment of the IGP, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare. They are also to testify the alleged kickbacks that have been paid to Dr. Akufu-Dampare and how Bugri-Nabu has been more or less a podo to the IGP and running his errands. The last person, who is a senior police officer stationed in Accra here, is also to testify on the reported or the alleged use of some of the police units by the IGP for his personal operations and all that. So these are the witnesses that we understand they are to put before the committee. I have not seen them yet, but we are still waiting and then nosing around for information. But as we speak now, the committee hearing, the in-camera hearing, has not officially started. I am told, reliably told, that the committee will have a conference first before they get into the in-camera hearing. So that is the state of affairs here in Parliament so far as this leaked tape investigation, the in-camera hearing, is concerned. Remember, it starts today and ends on 10th of October, which will be on Saturday. So it's like 5 consecutive days hearing. Details, and we understand this is expected to bring closure to the entire investigation, and or after the 10th of October, the committee will now present their reports, recommendations, and findings. If you have further questions for me, I'm still on standby for you, Bernice.
I'm sure, Samuel, just a bit of a clarification on the concerns by lawyers of the IGP about what they claim to be a sinister agenda by the committee chairperson. Do we have a response from Mr. Samuel Atachia or even any member of the committee?
I've not had any response from Mr. Samuel Atachia yet. However, in my earlier interaction with Vice Chairman of the committee, James Agaga, he said that the committee has never dragged its feet in giving audience to the witnesses. So anyone who has issues can put it before them. You know very well that during even the start of this entire public hearing, there were objections from the lawyers of COP Alex Mensah and Superintendent George Asari on the inclusion of Peter Tobu and then James Agaga himself. They said they made comments that they deemed as prejudicial, and they were not, by those comments, supposed to be on the committee, but they were able to go around those issues and solve them. So same is applicable here. They are asking the lawyers for the IGP that, look, if you have evidence that there's a sinister agenda against your client, bring them forth, we'll scrutinize it and then listen to you. But we are waiting for the official response from the chairman himself on some of these allegations that they are raising.
Right, Samuel, we'll leave it here for now. That's Samuel Imbura joining us from Parliament, where that investigation into the alleged plot to oust the IGP continues. We understand that the committee will continue hearing witnesses and their witnesses in camera. The IGP's lawyers are opposed to that. In fact, they argue that there's no need for further witnesses, and they say that the committee is done with its work per its terms of reference. Samuel Imbura will be in Parliament for us, and we definitely will furnish you with further details, especially on a response to these allegations made by lawyers for the IGP. Now to some other stories. Life has come to a standstill at Agbobledokui, a community in the Anglong constituency of the Volta region. The uncontrolled spillage of the Akosombo Dam has flooded the entire community, putting the lives of the people there on hold. So many members of this community have grown tired of having to deal with the devastation every year, which is not only caused by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam, but torrential rains as well. My colleague Kwekwa Sante was in that community and reports.
For weeks, school children in Agbobledokui have been home after flooding cut their school off from the rest of their community. The spillage of the Volta Dam and torrential rains have combined to threaten their dreams. The livelihoods of that of their families have also been put on hold as they wait for the flood waters to recede. It's been a month since many of these houses in this community flooded, and residents have to adjust to live with it as their rooms are drenched and filled with flood waters.
Since about 1996 that way. It's a seasonal thing, but coming every seasons. And from June that way it's come. When it's come like this, our schools have been closed. People have not have chance to go to school because it crossed the school road side, so the people cannot move to the school. So we close the school down, and our jobs have been lost, like farm activities. We can't go to farm again, so we just there here and be suffering from food and those aspects. Some houses, the people get in there inside their rooms, so they have to take blocks and put before make bed and sleep on it. Those are the problems are facing us. As we just stay to manage. When it goes, then we start our jobs activities. Yes. When it comes, it takes about 3 months or 4 months that way.
So for about 3 or 4 months, you'll be living with water?
Yes.
We have become miserable. We can't even sleep over fears our houses may collapse. We just stay up all night.
For many of these residents, this annual occurrence frustrates them. For many, they've been seeing this ever since they were born.
The time that I was born in this town, every year, the water will come. But it also affects us, enter our rooms, our chicken. If they come like this, can't even cook. If you want to cook, you have to buy charcoal before. But if you have a cylinder, so you used to cook.
1 month ni.
It's been 1 month since our houses were taken over by the floods. We need help. We are suffering and we are looking up to God.
Their call for help seemed to have all fallen on deaf ears. No NADMO in sight to offer relief items. No efforts by the government, they say, to end the perennial flooding once and for all. MP for the area, Richard Kwame Sefe, who donated some items on behalf of the former president, John Dramani Mahama, to the community, urged government to come to their aid.
The VRS spillage, the control spillage, which is being done now, the flash waters, as well as the other SSs that are coming into play. For now, we are at a loss as to where to call on, because try as we couldn't achieve anything. If you come to the coast, you are talking of the tidal wave. You come around the hinterlands. This is what we are witnessing. So we are only pleading to the government and its agencies that it's time that they come to help us. If they don't, what is going to happen is that these people are going to remain like this, and God knows when.
Already, a number of MPs in these coastal areas of the Volta region are threatening to vote against government's budget if it does not make adequate provision to end this phenomenon. Mr. Sefe says if this is what it would take to get government to act, he will join this protest.
We, as parliamentarians from the coastal area here, we have been doing our bit by raising questions, appealing to government over the few years we're in parliament. Now that the media, you have come to witness some of this. You can see the devastation on the face of the people. Look at them. People could not even go to their rooms to sleep, neither could they do anything meaningful. A representative of people of Anglo, and this is what they are suffering. If there is any means that I, their representative, could do to for the authorities to hear their cries, if that is the only means we should go, I will go by that. I, for one, if there is a way that we are going to vote, if there is a way we are going to vote, even if it's going to be 1 out of the 275, I will do that under protest. So that one, you count on me that I will have a way of trying to put some of these things across.
For now, and as residents wait for some action by those paid and those in office to fix these issues and make their lives better, they have to wait with patience for the next 2 or 3 months so that they can get their lives back to normalcy. After these flood waters recede, they can send their children back to school. But the rest of the world isn't waiting. For JoyNews, Kweku Asante, Agobledokui, Angloga District, Volta Region.
Now from the Volta region, we go to the Upper West Regional Capital, where a young man's passion for mentally ill persons in that part of the country has brought hope and sanity to the lives of even babies and adults who would have otherwise remained socially excluded and stigmatized. Some would have even died due to lack of proper medication and nutrition. Today's Mental Health Day, and as part of awareness creation, we put the spotlight on Ilyasu Yusuf Baba, who through his Bahas Foundation has reduced the number of people living with mental health conditions on the streets of the Wa municipality. His interventions have helped to reduce stigma, torture and ill treatment of mentally ill persons in that community. In commemoration of the day today, we ask, who cares for the caregiver or persons who care for others with mental health issues, and what do they need most to provide the optimum care. Ilyasu Baba is a beneficiary of the maiden edition of the JoyNews Impact Makers Awards. He joins us via Zoom with more. Hello, Ilyasu. I'm so excited to see you today. I remember when you picked up that award and how excited you were. But tell us how it has been since then.
Alhamdulillah. No, it's not been easy. You know, this award, when you receive it, it tells you that you have to put more effort. Or to know that because the whole world is watching you. When the whole world is watching you, that means that you have to put a lot of efforts into whatever you are doing.
And I'm glad to know that you're still at it. But just tell us how you have been doing. Today we are finding out, because we always, and it's important that we talk about persons living with mental health conditions and how they're doing. But I want to find out how you are doing and how you've been coping doing this work for such a long time.
Yeah, it's been great. As I always said, I'm always happy whenever I have time with these people, because I know they are part and parcel of this. Today is the most important day for these mental health people.
Right, Ilyasu, I think there's a challenge with your connection. We'll try to work on that because I really want to hear from you and how you're doing. So while we work on Ilyasu's line, let me take you back to Parliament. We understand that the IGP has arrived. And if you just joined me on News Desk, the latest is that the committee investigating that alleged plot to oust the IGP has resumed sitting in camera. The IGP's lawyers have some concerns about the terms of reference of the committee, and they believe that the committee is going beyond its mandate by inviting other witnesses to come and testify in camera. Samuel Imbura is there for us. Samuel, if you can hear me, the IGP has arrived. I'm sure he came with his lawyers. What's the latest you can report?
Dennis, the IGP is on his way coming out, coming to Parliament. But his lawyers, right behind me are his lawyers. You see Kwame Jan, Mr. Sari from the CID Legal Unit. And we also have Kofi Bento. You know, he has written about this latest invitation of the IGP. So we are waiting outside for the IGP to arrive. But let me just engage Mr. Bento briefly on his comments about this. Mr. Bento, if you can join us on JoyNews Desk, we're grateful. What is your interest in this ongoing case? I saw your post on social media. You felt the invitation of the IGP again is more than, let's say, harassment.
My posts on social media are personal, but I'm here as the official spokesperson for the IGP's legal team. I'm led by lawyer Kwame Jan. So we are here to assist Parliament in its duty. The Speaker set up a committee, and the committee has a clear remit. We are interested, indeed our client, the IGP, is interested in assisting the committee to achieve what the Speaker set it up to achieve. So we are here to do that. Part of what I have been saying in my post is that, unfortunately, it looks like the committee is going a bit away from what it was set up to do. And we have cooperated with the committee and will continue to cooperate with the committee. Indeed, we have the instructions of our client to make sure that we provide every information and make him available. But we are inclined to also work hard to ensure that the committee does not lose its way. It cannot be an open-ended, wide-ranging probe of the entire police service.
Your lead counsel was talking about extraneous witnesses in which you are going to resist that and all that. You think that the committee is overstepping its boundaries, trying to put the entire Ghana police service into full-blown trial?
We don't just think. We are speaking on matters of fact. So you can tell that in the past we have been here, we have subjected, or we have allowed our client to speak and answer all kinds of questions. So far, it is clear, it's a matter of fact, that as we speak, all manner of invitations are being made to all manner of persons to speak on all manner of issues. It cannot be that that was what was intended. So again, we are here to assist the committee to achieve the aims for which it was set up. To that extent, we have to limit it to the remit of what the Speaker asked it to do. So it's not a combat, it's not adversarial, it's not a matter of we coming to resist anything, but the fact is that there is a goal to all of this.
But there is a concern about productive hours spent before the committee. There's a latest report that suggests that Ghana has even moved, it's not even part of the top 10 countries in terms of curbing crime. I've seen that of Rwanda and other countries advancing. And the whole IGPs for the committee for an investigation and productive hours that could have used to, trail these criminals is being used to answer questions. That should be your worry, right?
It is a worry. I speak as a citizen. Look, let me make it clear. There is a high cost for the whole country to pull the head of the Internal Security Service, the head of administration of the 50,000 strong Ghana police force, and let him be here answering questions on behalf of his subordinates. So the questions that are being asked him, what essentially is going on is we are forcing the IGP to answer to his subordinates. The point that has to be made is that the police service has elaborate, sufficient, systems to deal with queries, critique, and whatever it is. So on another level, we will say that maybe the IGP's presence here should have been resisted a bit. But again, our client is very, very, very much inclined to answer any question and not give any suggestion that he has anything to hide. But the price that we are paying is what we are talking about. It affects our security. Our view is that we have to do what our client wants, which is to say, come and answer to the committee. But that is also why we have to limit the work of the committee to what the Speaker asks them to do. And to that extent, we will get what the goal for this whole process is. We should not allow it to stray. We should not allow it to become open-ended. We are not sure when it will end. Indeed, we believe that what the Speaker set it up to achieve has been achieved. And if it is about forensic, investigations of something or about disciplinary action or whatever it is, there are other bodies that are properly set up to deal with it. So what we want to project is that we are here to assist the committee to achieve its goals, but we necessarily have to also make sure that we limit ourselves to the remit of the committee so that all these issues about security and all those other things, the IGP should be able to go back to his work.
The last time we saw his senior officers, POMAP members, joining him, are we going to see same today?
That is police administrative issues. And I will not be surprised if they all come here. You must understand that the police is a unit. They work together. When you call the IGP here, you're not just calling him in his personal capacity. He's the Inspector General of Police. It's a constitutionally set up office managing the whole police service. And any question to him in his official capacity is a question to the whole police administration. So I think you can see them coming and...
So Ben is in your shot, some of the senior police officers who are joining the IGPs, arrival at the Parliament for the continuous probe into the leaked tape. The IGP himself is expected to be here. I have a host of them here. COP, Odro Kwarteng, good morning, thank you. They are all here. These are people who represent the various directorates at the headquarters of the Ghana Police Service. Madam Habiba is in charge of welfare. Chumesi, COP, Habiba Chimosi is in charge of welfare. So far as it has to do with the welfare of the Ghana Police Service, I'm sure that's why she's here. Madam, would you want to share a word with us? Welfare, Madam, would you want to share a word with us? At the moment, she wouldn't want to talk to us, but they are waiting for the IGP. In your shot is COP Awini. He's also with the Ghana Police Service, one of the top officials. Now, next, just in front of me, the one coming in the shot is COP Yohunu. He's GP2. So if the IGP is not there, he's the one who takes charge. And he's arriving to support his boss in this ongoing investigation. So the GP1 himself is here. The IGP, Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, has arrived here to go for the continuous coverage of it. Let me just try and get a word from him. He prefers to be called a brother, so I'll find out. My brother, good morning. Thank you for joining us on JoyNews.
Thank you.
So we hope to hear from him, though, but he's here to get the support of his people before he gets in there. So he's getting salutes from them gradually, and then he'll go in for the hearing. My brother, the whole Ghana is watching you. Just a word from you. Would you want to say hi to them? Well, the IGP wouldn't speak, and he's leading his team in there. But in the shots, you see Lawyer Kwame Jan and his able, lieutenant, and in the shots there. So, right, he enters. If he enters, then the entire investigations would begin. But we would have wished that we'll get a word from the IGP. All right, I wish you all the best. All right, so the IGP wouldn't want to talk now, but he's getting in there with his team for this full-blown investigation, in-camera hearing to begin. So, Benis, the IGP with his men, today they are not in their operational wear, they are in the normal police uniform, and then they are here to support their boss there. So those who are here are mostly POMAB members. That's what we call the Police Management Board members. And the head of the various directorates are here. Just a few of them that I've not seen around, but I can say all of them are here to support their boss. So in your shot here is ACP, in charge of public relations. She's also here, ACP. Greens and Kofi. Would you want to talk to us briefly, Madam Alice? You are here to support your board. The whole Ghana Police Service is here. The IGP, the GP2 and all are here. What do you have to tell us? Madam, would you want to say a word to Ghanaians why you are all here to support? Well, Madam Akrofi wouldn't speak because obviously her boss didn't speak and the lawyers have spoken to us. We are waiting to see what happens.
Right, so that's Samuel Imbura joining us from Parliament, giving us details as the committee investigating the alleged plot to oust the president continues its hearing today. We understand that it will continue in camera. Let me just take you down memory lane a bit. If you may recall, there was a leaked audio involving MPP known personality Bugri Nabu speaking to some police senior officers, and in that audio, there was an alleged plot to oust the IGP. The Speaker of Parliament requested the formation of a committee to investigate this matter. We heard from Mr. Bugri Nabu first when the committee began its work, then from the police officers, and then the IGP also appeared. After that, the committee decided to continue its sit-ins in camera. The lawyers for the IGP have raised concerns about that, and we understand that there may be a response to these concerns much later today when the committee either speaks to the media before or after its hearing. So we've got our fingers crossed. Samuel Imbura is there for us and will be bringing us all the updates. But let's go back to Ilyasu Yusuf Baba. He is with the Bahas Foundation and he's been working in the WAM municipality to help persons living with mental health conditions get some dignity back in their lives, get proper health care and good nutrition. And today is World Mental Health Day. We're asking that question about who cares for the carer, right? And he was giving us an answer to that when the line went bad. All right, it's good to have you back, Ilyasu. Your line appears to be much more stable now. But I was finding out from you how you've been coping yourself, you know, doing this for years. How has it been for you?
Yeah, no, it's a big challenge, but you know, art is my passion, so I found it so easier to do because we have been doing it for years, so close to 17 years up to date. Though there will be challenges, but that challenges, we call it occupational hazard, so we don't have more problem with it. It's good to go.
Right, and I just would like for you to share with us your story for those who are not familiar with what you do. How do you go about reaching out to these people? How do you house them? How do you clothe them?
Yeah, Bahas Foundation is a non-governmental organization based in Wa Municipal. Our main aim is to give hope to the mental ill people, those who have been rejected by their family members, by society. We decided to bring them together, bathe them, feed them, clothe them, and then medicate them. So when we are putting up a project known as Bahas Mental Home, we are trying to get a home for the mental ill people in Upper West region. So every fortnight we go around town, bring them. Well, after bringing them together, so we go to the dam. Actually, we don't have a place where we have been bathing them. We bath them in an open dam around Laura Road. And as we are speaking now, I can tell you that we've sent about a number of them, up to 40 of them there as we are speaking, to give them a bath. After the bath, to the ground where we are going to have a lot of dignitaries and some other big people. As today is World Mental Health Day, we take the opportunity to educate people more on mental health.
Right, Ilyasu, if you can hear me, I was just losing you at the latter part of that response to the question. But if you can hear me, I'll just like for you to know that we here at JoyNews, and I'm sure a lot of the people watching us, are grateful for the help you offer to persons living with mental health conditions in the Upper West region. Thank you for the intervention. Thank you for all that you do. And hopefully we will reach out to you sometime soon, visit you in WA. And for those of you who are watching who like to support Ilyasu, your support is more than welcome. Thank you once again, Ilyasu. And just talking about help, just let us know how anyone can do that.
Yeah, I want to also use this opportunity to thank JoyNews for the award given me and the exposure they've given me through JoyNews. JoyNews is a very big platform which everybody would like to share with. So I thank everybody, especially those who are always here to help bath and feed their people. There are a lot of people who have been supporting me, especially in the municipality. I give thanks to all of you. But I am still appealing to the general public to help perhaps foundation get this accommodation we are talking about, perhaps mental home. Though we've started molding blocks, but we still need a lot of support. The individuals and other organizations, whoever think that he can come to our aid to help us, we are appealing. Our door is open for everybody who think he can come and help us get a room, a house for these people. Thank you so much.
So thank you for all you do. We appreciate you. And that was Ilyasu Yusuf Baba, the JoyNews impact maker for the health category. He definitely deserves that. Now, Nasiba Bawa went viral after an interview with JoyNews' Maxwell Agbaba at the Occupy Jolobi House protest some 3 weeks ago. She spoke passionately about Ghana's ineffective healthcare system. We're learning that 48 hours after the protest, she was sacked by her private employers. Nasiba says that although she doesn't want to draw a direct link between the protest and her termination, she believes there's always a price to pay for speaking out. Maxwell Agbaba has more in this report.
It is the 23rd of September, the last day of a 3-day protest against what organizers of the Occupy Jolobi House demonstration say is corruption, mismanagement of the economy, and unemployment. One of the protesters, Nasiba Bawa, is charging at the police. She later explained she was angry because a 24-year-old man died as a result of Ghana's ineffective healthcare system.
He's a teacher. His father is a teacher. Gave over 30 years of his life to the service. Could not afford transplants. Could not afford dialysis. 400 cedis a week. What do you mean? Do you know how much taxes they check out every day? The cost of living.
It is lunchtime and I'm here at a restaurant in West Legon to meet Nasiba. Her contract was terminated by her private employers 48 hours after the protest. She says she doesn't want to draw a direct link between the protest and her termination, but believes there's always a price to pay for speaking out.
I've worked there, and I don't know it in partisan, and that's why I'm trying not to. I keep saying that I don't want that connection because if I knew that the company was partisan, then maybe I can say that because it's partisan, it's fair enough to come towards to or to pin this thought. But I don't know it's the partisan.
Yeah.
And I wasn't told that was the reason.
Yeah.
And another thing is I wasn't rebuked for going to the protest, even though my video went viral.
Okay.
I was not rebuked for it.
Okay.
So you get that. So it's like a brainwash sheet. So it's really hard to say that it's because of this, it's because of that, or because I was rebuked. When I got to work on Monday, I was rebuked, or they sort of questioned me, or the comments was passed that made me look like, you're not okay. No, none of that.
Okay.
If it's because of it, fair enough, there's always a price to pay for everything. That went to a protest and always a price to pay for everything.
That's what your uncle told you?
And that's okay.
Okay, wait, your uncle said what?
My uncle says that there is a price to pay for everything. Yes, they said, like I said, they said they had...
you were sick, you took days off with permission. Okay, so let me read that part of the tweet. You said, they said when I was sick and took days off with permission, they hired someone to replace me. That was 3 weeks ago. Why abruptly ending it now? The math is not mathing. Yeah. So you took sick leave 3 weeks ago. No, you returned actually. You took some days of sick leave and then returned. And I've been working for the past 3 weeks before the protest. And then 48 hours after the protest, you come back to work. Then you're told that, you remember the sick leave you took 3 weeks ago whilst you were away? We got another person, and the person is going to start work in October.
I think that for me, I didn't pay much. I mean, when I even tried to think about it, I also tried to think about the company because I've also heard where people have been let go for like health purposes because the company feels like we can't really rely on. The only reason why I was thinking was, when I came, why was I not told that this was what was happening, and so that I could, like sort of just ready myself, if that was what it was, But also, people don't owe me. I just want to say that, I'm trying to, I understand, or I'm attempting to understand all the parties involved and just understand that, or maybe that's not it, it's something else.
She says she's not worried and will continue to fight for a better healthcare system. Last week, Nasiba was part of the panelists for the JoyNews event on the dialysis crisis. As she said, the country continues to fail its citizens.
And the only thing that stands between you and death is dialysis, and you cannot even access it. And we had the Kolebu CEO, why they cannot even open it to OPD cases. And that's what stands in between you and death. So you are just dying not because your body is failing you, but because your country is failing you, and that shouldn't even be.
Labour expert Senor Ejabin says Nasiba's employers erred in terminating her contract.
There are grounds for termination of employment under our labour laws, and therefore, if the termination of employment is not in accordance with those grounds, then of course there are legal remedies for which an employee can go through any adjudication process to get some justice. You will have to present a defense, an argument properly so that proving that one, you had a contract of employment that was active and that it was terminated either in breach of the contract of employment, the labor law, or your rights under the 1992 Constitution. So it is varied, and would need to go into the circumstances a lot more to know exactly what she can do. But yes, if she was terminated on the basis that she took time off with permission and came back and she was replaced, then of course that does not constitute a ground under the labor laws, and hence I take legal action.
Well, and that's the story of this activist. You're watching News Desk with me, Bernice Abubedulan. So we've got business news coming up shortly. Do stay.
Welcome. Time for business with me, Emma Davis. The Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, Dr. John Ofori-Tenkran, has stated that the only way to eradicate old age poverty for workers in the informal sector is to join the SNIT scheme. Speaking at a stakeholder meeting at WA in the Upper West region regarding its newly launched product, the Self-Employed Enrollment Drive, he noted that the aim is to redefine social security in Ghana and give hope to the self-employed to be able to retire with dignity and comfort. Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
The stakeholder engagement held by the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, is in partnership with the Trades Union Congress, aimed at roping workers in the informal sector to have a dignified retirement. Various trades associations took part in the engagement, including dressmakers, hairdressers, tailors, farmers, and the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. SNIT used the opportunity to throw more light on their latest product, the Self-Employed Enrollment Drive, SEED, a product geared towards expanding coverage of the basic national scheme. Director General of SNIT, Dr. John Ofori-Tenkran, said the aim is to redefine social security in Ghana and give hope to the self-employed to be able to retire in dignity and comfort.
SEED is not that different. In fact, it is the same product, the same contributions, rates, and the same benefits. The only difference is that people who are self-employed, the law allows them to make payments as and when their businesses and their incomes allow. Unlike those in the formal sector who are employed by other employers, then there the obligation is that the employer pays for them regularly as long as they are rendering service to the employer. So for the self-employed, the participation onto the SNIT scheme is voluntary. It is not mandated by law. So these people then also have some flexibility as to when they pay their pensions. However, because the product is the same, the longer you contribute, the more your income replacement value, the higher your pension, and the often you contribute, the more you stand to benefit or to qualify for invalidity or life insurance benefits as and when those events occur.
Dr. John Ofori-Tenkran allayed the fears of the public on some misconceptions about SNIT, stating that it is a change agency.
Yes, there are a lot of misconceptions about SNIT. One of them has been that SNIT is only available to government workers only. So that means that if you are not paid by the Comptroller and Accountant General, then you cannot join SNIT. But that is false. As I showed today in the presentation, what we found out is that right now there are more private sector workers joining SNIT, some 1.2 million of them, whereas government workers are only like some 700,000 at best. The last one is that people think that SNIT pensions are low. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard people say, oh, I've worked for 35 years, and when I went on pension, all I got was some small amount of money. Well, as I said today, the SNIT scheme is not an investment scheme, it is an insurance scheme. What do we insure? We insure your salary. Like other insurance companies, we insure your cars, your houses. SNIT, what we insure is your salary.
He noted that the only way to eradicate old age poverty in the country is to join the SNIT scheme.
We have a branch around, and they have also been mandated to go out there and do public education and some marketing. So I think with all of our collective efforts, if we want to eradicate old age poverty, because our society has changed and our children are not going to be living with us in the villages anymore because they are going to school and they are getting jobs elsewhere and they are probably going to abroad or going to Accra or whatever. We cannot rely on them. And so whilst we are working, whatever the nature of our job, let's take advantage of it. So help us spread the message.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Back in Accra, leading dairy producer Promasidor Ghana has donated over 330,000 cedis to support the cost of surgery of some 7 patients at the National Cardiothoracic Center at Kolebu. This comes after the corporate social responsibility campaign of the company, Cowbell Impacting Lives, partnered the center to support financially constrained patients. The ceremony coincided with a series of social impact activities which form part of the launch of the Cowbell Premium and the Cowbell Vita Rich product. Here's more.
As part of its corporate social responsibility, Promasidor Ghana has donated 335,700 cedis to the National Cardiothoracic Center of Ghana. The effort, which is part of a partnership with Ghana's only tertiary cardio center, will see producers of the recently launched Cowbell Premium and Cowbell Vita Rich cater for the surgeries of some cardiac patients. Speaking to Joy Business at the ceremony, Human Resource Manager of Promasidor Ghana, Andrew Bodom, expressed his company's commitment to give back to the society through its Cowbell Impacting Lives initiative.
Our aim is to better the lives of people, but taking it a step further is to ensure that we assist in providing health care to patients, especially those who are unable to afford. Our aim of coming here today is to make a donation to the cardio center in providing surgical procedure operation to 7 patients to the tune of $30,000. We believe that through this partnership, such persons would be saved and then they would have a prosperous life.
Communications and Public Relations Manager at Promasidor Ghana, Gideon Kodo, had this to say on the partnership and the new variant recently launched.
Beyond today's donation, which is actually an amount of 335,700 Ghana cedis, which is $30,000 that we are donating to the cardio center. It is also to see us support the unit from time to time. We look forward to this being a long-term partnership, and so it is not just a one-off. We're definitely going to have series of other donations to the center. The donation also is part of our activities marking the launch of 2 new variants of Cowbell, which is the Cowbell Premium and also the Cowbell Vita Rich. The whole idea for these 2 new variants is to provide variety in the dairy category space, which we are leaders in, and so whilst bringing in new product to give value and also that nutritive element to the Ghanaian consumer, we also see it very important to give back to the society.
Dr. Ko Inchia Mensa, a cardiothoracic surgeon at the center, expressed his gratitude for Cowbell's continuous generosity.
The gesture is not just a simple presentation of cash, but you are virtually giving these individuals their lives back to them, because without this surgical intervention, the outcome is bleak for them. We are grateful that you are not making it a one-off donation and that you have promised a long-term partnership starting with these 7. And so we are looking for many more donations or many more presentations to save the many patients who need these surgeries.
Promasidor Ghana recently introduced Cowbell Premium and Cowbell Vita Rich, which are new variants of Ghana's favorite dairy product, Cowbell.
That's all for business. My name is Emma Davis. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. News Desk continues.
Thank you for staying on News Desk with me, Bernice Abubedulansa, and the story about 21-year-old Mel Seifiana Chua, who's chosen to work instead of furthering her education so she can help her younger siblings access education, will be brought to you during the midday news. So you want to stay for that. That is our latest edition of our Stories of Hope. That's how we end this edition. I'm grateful for your time. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. We are also very interactive on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are JoyNews on TV. Do enjoy the rest of your day. At 12, we are back with a major news update. Take care.